The most important response that I can give to people when they ask me, who are you, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm your biggest fan.
There's no doubt he's been in your living room.
Insanity is not for everybody.
Inspiring and motivating people all over the world for decades. And can you believe the Shaun T from Insanity made his life his home right here in the Valley? But it didn't come easy.
It's like, I have to fight my way out of this.
From overcoming childhood trauma,
To sneak downstairs after bedtime in the dark, ball up bread, put it in my underwear to sneak it upstairs. I came from that type of life.
to living his true self.
I have to dance. It is literally in my soul.
And he just accomplished something huge.
But you know me now, I'm like, if I don't know what it is and it scares me, I'm 100% gonna do it.
Making his pro debut in bodybuilding, proving you are never done and that growth can continue to happen even at the top. Get to know this megastar on MOMCAST. We have been trying to nail down this interview for forever. There's been times when I've tried to get it going. You've been in Europe, you have been traveling the world. I think one time I checked in with you, you were getting interviewed by people in New York City. Like, you are it. And you are here living in the Valley with your family. Tell me the journey of Shaun T. When people say, like, who are you, what do you do? What's your response? Because there's so many layers to it.
The most important response that I can give to people when they ask me, who are you, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm your biggest fan. Like, that's how I start out. Because there's so many fitness professionals out there, and I feel like when you say, you know, I have a career in fitness, or I'm a celebrity trainer, or whatever it is, they automatically equate you to weight loss. And I believe that most trainers aren't that shallow. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but most trainers and good trainers really want their clients to succeed, and everyone has their own unique way of doing it. So for me, I'm your biggest fan, but I'm your biggest fan in life, in fitness. Fitness is secondary. Mindset and you literally loving who you are is, for me, I'm like, if we can't change the behavior that you feel and what you do for you, if we can't change that behavior, you're never even gonna like what your fitness results are anyway. So I'm your biggest fan. I want to take people on a journey.
Okay, so where does that come from? Because when you look back at your past and how life even started out for you as a young kid, you did not have a lot of people who were your biggest cheerleaders. I mean, you endured abuse, sexual abuse. It was a hard life, Shaun.
Yes, it was tough. Like, you know, when I think back at it, it is amazing how, as a child, you develop this incredible resilience. And it can go either way. You can develop resilience, or you can fade and just have a really horrible life. And, you know, I don't fault those people, but I was like, I have to fight my way out of this. From being molested starting at the age of 8 all the way till 12, moving out of my house at 14. And, you know, I didn't come from money, you know, so I was able to also see my mom, like, fight her way to try and make money, get us things. And I just said to myself, I never want to live like that. Not necessarily, I don't think less of, but the struggle was just too much. And I spent a lot of time alone. Most people think that I was, you know, this probably jovial kid. I spent a lot of time in the closet with my buddy and my light bright toy. I know it sounds really weird to some people,
sweet.
But when people have these stories that you see on TV, people have like their doll is their best friend, they're like, oh my gosh, you know, that's kind of weird, or that's cute. I'm like, no, like for a lot of people like me, it was a lifesaver. So, you know, just kind of dealing with that, and then moving out at 14, and my grandparents literally saved my life. I was like, no one ever realized why I wanted to move out of my childhood home and with my grandparents until later in life. But I just wanted to escape the toxic environment and the toxicity that I was enduring. And at that age, you don't really know what that is. You just know it's not right. But my mindset has always been, like, if this isn't for me, I'm not going to give it energy. And so, you know, I just had to fight mentally from when I was, you know, a really young child.
So to make that decision, even to move out of your home, as a kid, where do you think that was just born into to make your situation better than what it was? Is that just something that innately you have? Because some people, you just don't know any better. Like, this is just a reality I have to accept.
Yeah.
But it seems like in every instance of your life, you don't accept something that you don't think is for you.
Yeah, I personally feel like it's genetic, it's
Yeah.
innate, because instead of settling, I'm looking for the best way to move forward. It's how I performed in school with academics, in sports, even friendships and relationships. It's just how I perform. Like, if something's not for me, it's not even a hatred toward the thing that wasn't benefiting me. It's just my desire to feel and do better. And that is it.
It's crazy because it just leans into exactly what you're doing for millions. Like, I can't say that word more clearly. Millions of other people, is that you are now helping other people who are in a situation that they're not happy with, whether it's weight, whether it's mindset, whether it's emotionally. That's what you have made your whole life doing. It's pretty incredible.
Thank you. I mean, for me, that's what it was. And, it's, like I said before, it's the foundation of where I came from. And I don't feel like everyone has to be going through something in order to get better. I don't think that you need to go through something to be successful. I hear a lot of things people say, people who endured this are the most, no, I don't wish that upon anyone. I think what I'm trying to do is tell people, whether you went through something or not, you still have the ability to be the best that you can be. That's why I have these tattoos. I have conquer your mind, transform your life.
Oh my gosh, man.
Because for me, it's all about the mentality. You're not going to work out unless you have the mentality. You're not going to be a committed, successful relationship if you don't have the mentality. You're not going to do great at your job if you don't have the mentality to push through and conquer what your mind is telling you. You know what I'm saying? You have to beat your mind in order to continue to transform.
You cannot miss this part of Shaun T's story. Still ahead on MOMCAST.
This is a great story. This is the story that changed my life, to be quite honest.
Dance. Yes, dance is what set Shaun T up for the success he has today.
She's like, little boys don't dance. Still regrets it to this day.
MOMCAST is sponsored by Moxie Pest Control, protecting what matters most.
Think your body can look like this 60 days from now? You need to be committed.
Success of Insanity alone.
Yeah.
Did it just blow your mind? I mean, you were everywhere on everyone's TV.
I know. It's so
on
crazy.
everyone's TV.
I don't think I internalized it.
Yeah,
when
did
it was
you
happening.
realize?
Not when it was happening,
It
because
swept the nation.
Yes.
Right? It's crazy.
Yes. It's insane. People still do it to this day.
Yes.
If they don't do it, it's on their shelf
Right.
from almost 20 years ago, collecting dust.
Crazy.
That's what's happening.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It is the most incredible compliment that, like, I can walk around, people are like, yeah, I did Insanity. Or now most people are like, my mom did Insanity. I'm like, thanks for making me feel old.
I know.
But
Did you have to say it like that?
right.
During that time, what was life like for you? Because it had to have been just so vastly different from
Yeah.
where you came from.
It was insane. I was like not good with money.
Yeah, how could you be?
Because like no one ever, I really didn't learn much about money.
Well, and if you were always wanting it or didn't have it,
Yeah.
it's such you start at such a disadvantage because it's just an unhealthy relationship,
yeah, and
right?
people don't understand, like if you come from a place oftentimes that you're struggling, you have such a desire to want what that next level or, class of, economic class has, that you don't really, because you're like, why am I going to say this? Like, I don't have anything anyway.
Right.
But that was it was a learning process for me. But I also connected more to just the community, like the people. Just, I went from walking down the street just being like, another guy walking down the street to being stopped every block like, oh my God, I just started Insanity. And in New York, it was crazy because big cities, you're walking down the street, you're outside, and everybody, like the summer's coming up, and people are like, yo, like you will always hear people like, yo, I'm doing that Insanity, literally from across the street.
Insane.
Shaun T. It still happens to this day though, it's really hilarious.
So how did you go from insanity to Shaun T? Because you yourself are like your own thing, especially on social media. You have over 1 million followers. That's just Instagram.
Yeah.
How did you keep it going?
I think, it's very interesting. My personality on Instagram is my personality wherever I am.
For sure.
Like, if you want me to go out there and do a TikTok dance, I don't care if there's 70 people watching me, I'm dancing. I'm loud. I'm gonna tell you exactly how it is. I'm gonna motivate you. I'm just me. And so it's my superpower. I think it's everyone's superpower to be who they are. And I'm a big believer in that. If you just are who you are, your people will find you, and it's amazing. So I love social media for that aspect. It's like, it really gets you to connect with people from all over the world. I mean, it could be a nightmare sometimes with people being rude and mean and all that stuff. But for me, I'm like, if you don't like me, that's your problem. I have things to do, which means I need to make the world a better place, a healthier place, give people the freedom to be who they are. And that's kind of how I go about my social media. It's super fun. I'm not trying to get 1 million likes. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be impactful, intentionally impactful. I don't, like, people are like, oh, like such and such got 200,000 likes. I'm like, I can get 10 likes because those 10 people are going to really be connected, So I don't go for the masses. I go for the people that want to connect with me and my teaching style, and people I want to connect with as well.
And it just so happens to be more than 1 million people.
It just happens to be,
so happens.
1.9 on Facebook, 1.2 on Instagram.
Where do you think the connection works? Where does it work with you? Is it because you're so genuine? Is it because you're so willing to be vulnerable? I mean, when we started this interview, you're like, there's no question that you can't ask.
No.
What is it?
It's just, I think people just realize that I'm very authentically me. And even things that, like, either they don't agree with or, like, even with my podcast or something, they know it's coming. I'm intentionally coming from a good place, and I'm open. I'm open to hearing what people have to say. But I think the connection point, whenever you connect mind and body, when you can, like, reach someone with that double connection, you're gonna get people. And when it's really authentic, you're gonna really build your community. I mean, I have the largest fitness community on Facebook. It's called Dig Deeper Nation. It's like 120,000 people. They challenges all year long. We do events. It's a community. And it's not about me. It's called Dig Deeper Nation. It's not called Shaun T's Dig Deeper Nation necessarily. It's Dig Deeper Nation because it's about the people. I always say, like, if I'm working out, it's not about me. If I'm working out for, if I'm teaching or if you're doing one of my workouts, I'm like, this isn't about me at all. It is completely about what it is that you're gonna get from it. So that's how I like to build my community as well.
When did you meet your husband, and how's that journey been? Because you guys now are fathers to 2 incredibly gorgeous twins. Tell me about that part of your life when you really, like, invested in your personal life.
Yeah. Well, first of all, this is hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna go to one part of the story and then I'm gonna come back.
Yes.
So it was like, it was 2012. So we got married in 2012. I'll go back to the beginning. But we got married in 2012, and our assistant at the time posted on Twitter, she took a picture with us at our wedding, and she was in the middle, and she's like, oh my God, basically, like, I'm so excited for these guys. Congratulations for the wedding. So then all of the tabloids came out, like, Shaun T comes out via Twitter. And I'm looking around like, when was I in? I don't remember ever being in.
I read that headline before this interview. I did. That's how you came out to everyone.
I'm like, man, come on. Like, it was funny to me. I'm literally like, who was I in the closet for? First of all, did you do hip hop abs? Like, I was America's gay best friend. Like, why are y'all tripping? I think people couldn't understand that. When I'm dancing, I'm having a good time, and then I'm insanity. I'm like hardcore. I'm like, that's how I am on the track. That's how I am when I'm cutting up at the club. Like, come on.
Interesting.
So anyway, it was so funny because insanity was such a thing that people looked at me, a drill sergeant, this tattoo, which is kind of covered up now. People thought I was a Marine. Like, they had me as this, like, hardcore guy. I am pretty hardcore. I just happen to be gay. But so anyway, that was funny. But anyway, so I met my husband at the gym, go figure.
Yeah.
And
that'll do it. That's where you spend your time. Makes sense.
In New York City, literally, like, immediately, I'm like, this is the person I'm gonna be with. Like, no questions asked, within 3 seconds. I call it like 3 steps. I'm like, this is it.
Still to come right here on MOMCAST. Our conversation with the Shaun T continues.
MOMCAST is sponsored by Moxie Pest Control, protecting what matters most.
We spent 5 years trying to have our twins.
What?
Yeah, so it was 5
5
years. So we did it via surrogacy, which is super cool. It's like one of the most amazing journeys, but it was really tough. So we had 6 egg donors, 5 surrogates. So it was expensive and it was a lot. But I remember our first doctor always saying to us, he was like, I know you guys are really stressed and you want to have kids, but he was like, the people who are supposed to come into this world are the people that are supposed to come into this world. And you know, obviously people believe in God or fate or whatever it is, but he was just like, you can't decide who's going to come into this world. Like, that's just what needs to happen. I found out my 40th birthday, my 39th birthday. I found out on my 39th birthday that we were pregnant, and because the numbers that she had, she was like, the doctor was like, I don't want to get too, ahead of ourselves, but he was like, I really think it's twins. So we went on vacation for my birthday, and we're on a flight back home, and she sends us the picture of the ultrasound, these 2 little black holes. Oh my God, I get the chills. It was the best. It was like the best. And then you're like, oh my gosh. And the way we did it, and this is the coolest thing that a lot of people don't even know.
Yeah.
Like the way we did it was, we had an egg donor. Let's say she had 20 eggs. Scott fertilized 10. I fertilized 10. So then we fertilize these eggs. So then they take one that he fertilized and one that I fertilized, and then they put it into the egg. So there was the egg donor that gave us the eggs, and they put it into the surrogate, the one that I told you about. So everyone's like, oh my gosh, like, it's so nice that you guys adopted kids. I'm like, no, they're biologically
They're
ours. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really cool.
From both of you?
Yeah.
Is that a dream?
It was literally the dream. And it was also, now that they're a little older, now you're like, oh, the doctor was right. Like, the kids that are supposed to come. I couldn't imagine, I'll probably get emotional, like, I could not imagine, like, these 2 little kids not being here.
Makes me cry.
And, like, all of because it was stressful. Like, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's probably stressful for heterosexual couples. Like, if a woman can't have kids for some reason, or if the husband, their sperm isn't working or whatever like that. But you're just like when we look at them, I'm like, I couldn't imagine not knowing them. I know, I'm an emotional person. But they're just like so wonderful. And they're mini versions of us, which is also really
crazy.
Funny. Like, we sit across from them at the table at night or whatever, whenever we're having conversations, we're playing games or whatever. And sometimes Scott and I are just quiet because I'm like, we're literally looking at us. It is so, I'm like, this is what people see when they go out to dinner with us at like a young age. And it's really funny too, because you get that nature versus nurture. Yeah. Because we always make fun. We're like, the one that you made, so the one that Scott made acts like me, like he's wild and crazy. And the one that I made is like super chill like Scott. Stop. But then they also have their nature. Like, there's one like me, he's like very literal. He says exactly what he feels. And the other one is like, Scott is like super sweet, like the kindest. It's so funny. It's such a great science experiment, even though it's more than that. But it is science, it's science.
It's incredible.
But it's great.
It's funny because you've been through some horrific things in your childhood. I mean, having to steal bread from your own kitchen, just so you can eat. But this is the thing that gets you emotional. This is the thing that like really breaks you down, and it's your own kids.
Yeah. I mean, they're just, everyone says their kids are wonderful, but I don't look at it like, oh, I made them or whatever. It's more about the fact that, so we raise them, but we're also in a situation of like, we let them be themselves. Like, they pick out their own clothes, they do, we guide them. Obviously, they're not going to do anything crazy, and you can see that we've guided them. Like, even like how they do in school, like they're, I want to say they're very intelligent. They're like really, really smart. They're like, I don't want to use the word popular amongst friends, but they're just really kind and they have personality, and you can tell they're free to be themselves. And so all of the things that we have been teaching them from a very young age, we see it working. It's 7. We'll see what happens at 8 and 13.
Right.
But but this doesn't mean anything to anyone else, but I told my kids 2 years ago when they were 5, I said, listen, this is the most important thing Papa's ever going to tell you. I'm like, you can always sit on my lap. I could be 80 and you could be 40 and you better come sit on my lap. Like I always want to be your home base. And they were like, all right, so now they're heavy and they both like sit on me, and in my head I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this when they're like 10. But it's so sweet. Like, they're like, well, you always, I'm like, oh my God, you're so heavy. They're like, well, you always told us, like, we can always sit on your lap. I'm like, absolutely.
Oh, Shaun. It seems like you, in every aspect of your life, are just always in pursuit of making it better. You know, whether it's your fitness goals or your family or having kids, you know, you're just all constantly in pursuit. And you're inspiring so many other people to do that too.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think people have this saying that I want to be 1% better every day, and I don't believe in that. I think you just have to always be ready to gear shift, you know, and you know what you don't want. Yeah. Like, you know what you don't want.
You've lived what you don't want.
I live what I don't want. So for me, you know, I always say perfection is temporary, change is constant. Like, I have perfect moments in my life, but I'm absolutely not perfect. But I also want to, you know, people are like, why do you have a trainer? I'm like, because I want to be a student. Like, if I'm not a student, I'm not learning. Like, people are, why you got this? Like, why do you? I'm like, you guys may look at me as like, I know this and I know that, but I had to learn from somewhere. I'm still learning every single day.
You have this humility that a lot of people at your level, I mean, just like social media speaking, lose. Like, you get to a point where, I mean, insanity, like we said, was everywhere. Everyone knows Shaun T. You go on social media, everyone knows Shaun T. You're at a Suns game. The crowd is going crazy because you're there. You're dancing on the Cardinals field, and everyone's going, but you still manage to have this humility.
I mean, I'm a big believer in, like, we're all the same. Like, I just do something different than what you do. And it just happened to be that what I do, a lot of people either need or want in their life. This is the best type of celebrity, quote unquote, to be, because there's we have a connection, you know? So, and when I create these programs, I create it just for that reason, so that you can be the best person that you can be. Not look like anybody else, not get a six-pack like me, but feel better about you.
Thanks for watching MomCast. I'm Emma Jade. See you next week.
MOMCAST is sponsored by Moxie Pest Control, protecting what matters most.